He hadn't said a single word in 3 years. Doctors gave up. Therapists failed. But one morning, this silent little boy looked up at his nanny and whispered something that left her and his millionaire father completely shattered. The mansion was cloaked in an eerie stillness, not the comforting kind of quiet, but the kind that presses down on your chest, makes you feel like even your thoughts are too loud. In the center of this silence, Amelia sat cross-legged on the thick cream rug, a gentle warmth radiating from her presence. She wore a soft pink dress, the fabric pooling around her legs, and in her lap lay a boy no older than 3. Golden curls framed his pale face, and his blue eyes stared through the room like he wasn't really there. This was Noah, silent since birth, diagnosed with selective mutism, burdened by the weight of emotional trauma no toddler should bear. The doctors said he might never speak, scarred too early by a mother who left without a word. His father, William Hughes, a millionaire with every resource money could buy, had tried everything: therapists, gadgets, the works, but nothing reached the boy. Then came Amelia, the new nanny with more heart than credentials. She didn't try to fix him. She just loved him. She talked to him like he could respond. She sang to him in the mornings, held his hand when he trembled, read to him though he never looked at the pages. And slowly something shifted. At first it was subtle. Noah began watching her more intently, his eyes following her across the room. He'd reach out to touch her face, as if memorizing her presence. When she cried softly during a bedtime story, he reached up and touched her cheek with concern. Amelia saw these changes and let herself hope. She dressed him gently each morning, today in a white shirt and black pants that made him look almost like a porcelain doll. "Can you say ball for me, sweetheart?" she asked, rolling a red ball toward him. Nothing. But she didn't let the moment sour. She praised him for eating his breakfast, hugged him tight, and whispered that he was her favorite person. That's when it happened. She felt something in his chest. Faint vibration. She froze. "Noah?" she asked. Then a whisper barely audible. "Ma." Her heart skipped a beat. Then came another word, fragile yet life-shattering. "Mommy." Tears welled up instantly as she clutched him close, her voice trembling. "You spoke. You said mommy." And when he repeated it, she wept openly. With shaking hands and an overwhelmed heart, Amelia turned toward the hallway. "Sir!" she cried out, not caring that her voice cracked. He spoke. William Hughes, just leaving his office, stopped in his tracks. He'd never heard her raise her voice. Not once. The urgency, the emotion, it jolted him. He rushed down the marble hall, footsteps echoing. When he entered the room, his world spun. There she was, kneeling, tear-streaked, with Noah in her arms. The boy clung tightly to her pink dress, whispering again, "Mommy." William felt his knees weaken. He staggered a step back, mouth open. "No, it can't be." Amelia turned to him, voice breaking. "He called me mommy." Noah looked up at her again with innocent, trusting eyes and repeated it. One word that shattered years of silence. William couldn't move, couldn't breathe. For the first time, he was hearing the sound of his son's voice. As Noah pressed his tiny face into Amelia's shoulder, clinging tighter than ever, William stepped closer, sinking to his knees beside them. "Noah, it's Daddy," he whispered, brushing the child's curls. "Can you say Daddy?" But Noah wouldn't let go of Amelia. He only held her tighter. "Mommy," he said again, louder this time, more certain. Amelia rocked him gently, tears falling as she whispered, "You're safe, sweetheart. Mommy's here." That word, it rang in William's ears like both a knife and a healing balm. "Mommy." He had tried for so long to break through Noah's walls, only to realize Amelia had already done it, simply by being there. By not seeing Noah as broken. She hadn't forced him to speak. She had loved him until he was ready. William looked at the boy melting into Amelia's arms and saw peace for the first time. Real peace. William sat back, stunned, watching as the weight seemed to lift off Noah's tiny frame. Amelia looked up at him, eyes raw with emotion. He needed someone to see him, not his silence. William nodded slowly, the words cutting deep. She was right. Amelia had seen past the diagnosis, past the trauma, into the heart of a scared little boy. And that had made all the difference. Noah mumbled "mommy" again, the word now soft and comforting, like a lullaby only he could sing. William's throat tightened. "You're his mother in every way that matters," he said. Amelia blinked. "Sir." "No," he interrupted. "Don't call me sir. You're more than an employee. You're family." The weeks that followed were full of quiet miracles. Noah began speaking more tiny words like juice, ball, even daddy now and then. But mommy was still his favorite, reserved only for Amelia. William watched her with awe as she guided the boy through healing. The bond between them was unshakable. One quiet evening, they all sat on the living room couch, Noah asleep across Amelia's lap, her fingers gently stroking his hair. William reached over and took her hand. "You saved him," he whispered. But Amelia shook her head gently. "He saved me, too." The words hung in the room like sacred truth. William had once believed everything ended when his wife walked out. But maybe that was just the beginning of something better. Amelia looked at him, heart racing. "What do you mean?" she asked softly. William's voice caught in his throat. "Maybe Noah found his real mother the day he met you." Her breath hitched. She looked down at the sleeping child, his hand still tightly gripping her dress. In that moment it became crystal clear. Love wasn't about blood. It was about showing up, about consistency, about patience. "I'll never let him feel alone again," she whispered. William nodded, his voice thick. "And neither will I." That night, under the golden glow of a living room lamp, the three of them sat together. A father, a son, and the woman who turned a silent house into a home. From that day on, the mansion was no longer a hollow place filled with echoes and sorrow. It was alive with laughter, footsteps, bedtime stories, and most of all, love. Noah's voice grew stronger each day, his words becoming bridges between worlds once too far to reach. Amelia wasn't just a nanny. She had become the mother Noah never had, and William, he found himself smiling again. The house that once choked him with grief now felt like a new beginning. Place reborn. As Noah curled beside Amelia each night, whispering "mommy" with sleepy warmth, it was clear. Some families are chosen by the heart. And sometimes, a broken boy doesn't need fixing. Just someone to hold him while he heals. In the silence of heartbreak, they found a new family. Sometimes, the ones who show up are the ones who truly belong. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes in love's quiet miracles.